Hello everyone, my name is Gitanjali Singh and I am currently interning at Lexis and Company, and the topic for today's video is fair trial. Now, to introduce what is fair trial in India, it is in the battle against crime and delinquency, state and its officer cannot on any account forsake the decency of state's behavior, have any recourse to extra legal method for the sake of detention of crimes and even criminals. Now, states should not insist on good behavior from others when their own behavior is blameworthy, unjust, and illegal. Thus, in a democratic society, even the rights of accused are sacrosanct. Though the accused of an offense, he does not become a non-person. He is no less than a human. Now, in the leading case of Kishore Singh versus state of Rajasthan, it was said that the laws of India, that is constitutional, evidentiary and procedural, have made elaborate provisions to safeguard the rights of accused with the view to protect his dignity as a human being and giving him benefit of just, fair and impartial trial. Now, Article 10 of UDHR also declares that everyone entitled in full equity to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal in the determination of his legal rights and obligation of any criminal charge against him. Article 14 subclause 1 of International Convention also say that civil and political rights provide that all the people shall be equal before the courts and tribunals. There are various facets of the right of fair trial, and in the case of Zahira Habibullah versus State of Gujarat, the Honorable Supreme Court held that the principle of fair trial now informs and energizes many areas of the law. It is reflected in numerous practices and rules that fair trial obviously would mean a trial before an impartial judge, a fair prosecutor, and atmosphere of a judicial calm. Fair trial means a trial in which bias or prejudice of any right of the accused, the witness, or the cause which being tried is eliminated. Now, right to free aid is also a major part of the fair trial. The right to be defended by a legal practitioner flowing from Article 21 subclause 1 of Constitution has been further fortified by introduction of DPSP embodied under Article 39A by Constitution or by 42nd Amendment of 1976 by adding subsection 1 of Section 304 of CRPC. Now, legal assistance to a poor person facing trial whose life and personal liberty is in jeopardy is mandated not only on the Constitution and the CRPC but also by international conventions and human rights declaration. Every person therefore has a right of fair trial by a competent court in the spirit of right of life and personal liberty. The object and purpose of providing competent legal aid to undefended and unrepresented accused persons are to see the accused gets free and fair, just and reasonable trial of the charge, to maintain the dignity of him as a human and give him the utmost justice. In the famous case of Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India, it was held by the constitutional bench of this court that the procedure of depriving a person of his life and liberty should be fair, reasonable, and just, and not be impartial. Now, the Honorable Supreme Court said that we are of the opinion that it is not fair or just that a criminal case should be decided against an accused in the absence of any counsel, any deprivation of his fundamental right, and it is only a lawyer who is conversant with the law who can properly defend an accused in a criminal law. Section Section 304 in CRPC lays down the legal aid to accused person as a state expertise in certain cases where the High Court may, with the previous approval of state government, make rules providing for the selection of the mode of selecting pleaders for defense, the facilities to be allowed by such pleaders, and the fees payable to the pleaders. Now, the CRPC provides in all criminal prosecution, the accused has the right to have the assistance of a counsel, and CRPC also requires the court in all criminal cases where the accused is unable to engage a counsel. However, the guilty appellant upon the inquiry might have been he is still convicted, presumed to be innocent unless he is proven guilty. It was the duty of the court having these cases in charge to see he is denied no necessary incident of a fair trial and being treated as inhuman. It is equally true that the absence of fair and proper trial would be a violation of fundamental principles of judicial procedure account breach mandatory provision of Section 304. It has to be said that equality, justice, and liberty is the trinity of fair trial recognized in the administration of justice of India, where the affluent and the lowly and the lost have the equality of access to the justice in the administration of justice in general and criminal justice in particular. This fundamental principle of fair trial is the backdrop of the international convents and enjoined in the Constitution of India as well as the criminal law devising the criminal justice system of India. Now, the beauty of these principles enshrined lies in the fact that much matter is decoded in small words. The trust is imperative to means which must be trustworthy in order to just ends. The Constitution of India lays down a social policy concerning equal justice and free legal aid by suitable legislation or schemes or in any other way to ensure that the opportunities of securing justice are not denied to any citizen, be it accused or presumed to be accused, or by any reason of economic or other disabilities. This social policy aims at indigence should never be the ground for denying any fair trial. Indigent means the person who is unable to pay the court fees and the or any unequal equal justice. Particular attention to be paid up to appoint competent advocates equal to handling complex casing and not patronizing gestures to draw and trends bar. That's all. Thank you.